Welcome to Fuji's Farmstead. Today we're going to prepare for the 4th of July holiday by grabbing some things out of the garden, and we're going to make some marinated Kal Bi ribs out of the garlic that we just harvested. I'm going to try and find some green onions, an apple for the marinade, and some peppers. So we have some little onions here, not very many, but that should be fine. I'm gonna grab one of these apples. Perfect. Then we've got some of these cute little purple peppers that I want to pick. That should be good. And I'm gonna grab some garlic. Okay, so we got our ingredients. So I'm just gonna wash these off. And then we are gonna make a fun little marinade for our Kal Bi ribs, which I'm really excited about. We used to have a restaurant in Las Vegas when we were in high school, and it was a Hawaiian food restaurant. It was called Hoolie's, Hawaiian style barbecue. And we served Kal Bi ribs, and I don't remember the actual recipe, but in general, it's soy sauce, sugar, garlic. If you have ginger, that would be great. Onions, sesame seeds, and sesame oil. And then my dad would always use like a red chili pepper flake or a chili pepper paste. I think some people use gochujang, but we've got these sweet little purple peppers. So let's try and see what that is like, since that's what we have in the garden. And I think that might be like a fun little way to use these interesting little peppers. So this is the garlic that we just harvested the other day. And it's not totally dried or cured yet, but I'm just gonna peel these cloves off. Oh, it smells so good. It's really pungent. And we're gonna use quite a bit of garlic in here. Yeah, the skins are quite soft still. Oops. All right, I think that should be good. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 cloves of garlic, probably almost a head of garlic here. And then I wanted to use an apple because I thought that would be fun. I know that some Korean recipes call for Asian pear. And since we have some apples, I thought that would be fun to try, just to add a little something to it. So I'm just gonna slice these green onions nice and thin. And I think you could use white onions, whatever you have. I try not to go to the store just for like individual things for a recipe, because I feel like that can get really expensive if you're trying to do a recipe to the T all the time. So I usually substitute whatever I've got if I can. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start growing my own vegetables, is because I think it's fun just to be creative and use kind of whatever you have on hand. And some of my favorite recipes have come from just like weird things that I've used around the house. And I think it also saves a lot of money just kind of using what you have. Perfect. And then I'll get these little sweet purple chilies. And these are pretty spicy. I just took a bite of one yesterday and they're pretty spicy, but I think in the marinade and then by the time it goes on the barbecue, I think it'll calm down quite a bit. So there's that. And then for the apples, I'm gonna peel the apple because I want this to be nice and sweet. I'm just gonna peel this. And then I'm just gonna grate it on a microplane. All right, perfect. So we've got that, and then it's a big measuring cup. Okay, so now I have a little measuring cup and I'm gonna do about probably a cup because we've got quite a few ribs, a cup of soy sauce. And then I'm gonna do a half of cup of sugar to start, or maybe like 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I think the main thing with this recipe is just, I call this candy beef, is to make it taste like candy with this soy sauce and the sugar. So I'm gonna let that dissolve. And the sugar still needs to dissolve, but I think maybe more of a 50-50 ratio. So cup of sugar, cup of soy sauce. And then I'm gonna add in our beautiful garlic and our chilies and our green onions. And the pear will, or the apple will add some more sweetness to it. Go. Then I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of sesame oil and some sesame seeds. And let's give that a try. See how pretty that is? Oh, that smells so good with the sesame oil. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, and then I've got some Kal Bi ribs that I got at this really cute little Mexican market near my house. And so they're like the flankened short ribs. So they're the short ribs, but then they're sliced thin. And what I like to do is I try and find a short rib that's pretty thick. Like this is probably like at least a fourth of an inch. But I think the thicker the better with these ribs. And then sometimes they're hard to find. So sometimes if I can't find the short ribs, then I will use I'll use just like flat meat or skirt steak. I'm just gonna layer on the marinade into this. Let's see here. And the longer the better to marinate it. So I think at least like 24 hours is best. But if you can do it for a couple days, I think that's definitely better. Because like the salt and the sugar, and then it'll get really caramelized on the grill. But this is fun for a barbecue. It's kind of like a make ahead thing. So you can do it in advance. And then once people get here or as people are hungry, they can just throw this on the grill. And once you cook it, it's good, like, you know, afterwards. Like room temperature. It doesn't have to be like super hot fresh off the grill. So make sure we get everything in there. So this is 3 pounds of short ribs that we have. And I like to do it in kind of like a flat container, or like a Ziploc bag would be good. But that is just so pretty with all the little peppers and the green onions and our garlic. So there it is, our beautiful marinated skirt steak. So today is the morning of the 3rd, so it's gonna have 2 full days to marinate. If I had the time yesterday, I would have started this yesterday because I think that would be even better. But this is perfect. And then I have my sister's bringing macaroni salad and spam musubis. And then my other sister's bringing a salad, like a Chinese chicken salad or a salmon salad. And then I might play around with some dessert ideas. But yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. And this is a great little start to our little celebration on the 4th. We're actually celebrating my dad's birthday. We normally go fishing every year in memory of his birthday, but this year we missed it. So this year he's going to get the 4th of July fireworks, and what we do is we just eat all of our favorite things, our favorite Hawaiian dishes that he loved. So spam musubi, sometimes we make poke. I'm going to make a Kahlua pig and cabbage with the cabbages that we harvested. So that's going to be really fun too. These ribs turned out so good and everybody enjoyed them. They marinated for about 2 days, and then the day of the party when we were ready to eat, we just threw it on the grill and we like to get it nice and charred. So the sweetness and the sugar really helps with that, which is why I like to add a little bit more sugar than a lot of recipes call for online. And I did talk to my sister, and she said that that's kind of, I think, what they do in Hawaii. They get it, they make it a little bit more sweet, so it gets like that char, and it kind of tastes to me like candy beef is what I call it. So these only take a few minutes on the grill, and then after we let it rest for a few minutes, my niece laid it out on the platter, and I shredded up some of the red cabbage from the garden as a little bit of like a bed for the Kal Bi Ribs. And then she cut it into little pieces so that it was easy for everybody to eat. My sister made these delicious lemon bars for the 4th of July, and we didn't have any cupcake wrappers as holders for them for people to like grab one and like take it around and eat them. So I grabbed some of the banana leaves from our yard and we made them into little cupcake liners, which made it really easy to grab and go. And I just think it looks really pretty, and it was also such a fun activity for us to do together. Next up, my sister is adding some garlic and some onion with some vegetable oil to a really hot skillet with some carrots that she julienned and some red bell pepper. And she's just gonna saute this until it's nice and soft and sauteed. And this is a Korean noodle dish called japchae. And I have actually never had this dish, so this was really fun. I love traditions, but I also love to add new things to the meal just to try something new. So this was really fun, and she prepared everything before she came over, so it was super simple. I think that it only took about maybe 10 or 15 minutes for her to whip this up, and then we just hung out and chatted and talked about what we're cooking and what we're up to and that sort of thing. So next up, she's got some shiitake mushrooms that she sauteed or like cooked down before she got here, and she's just stirring that into the mix as well. And then she's gonna add some sauteed spinach, and we just cut that up into more bite-sized pieces and added it into the skillet. And then she also prepared some bulgogi beef before she came, and then she added a little bit of salt. If I can have her send the recipe, or if I can find the recipe, or if she has a recipe, I will link it below if you're interested. And I'm not even sure what kind of noodles these are. They kind of look like a rice noodle of some sort, but it looks like she cooked that beforehand as well. And then she's adding some soy sauce and some sugar and just tossing that all together. And then we've got some sesame seeds. And last, she added some green onions. And here we go. This is our beautiful noodle dish. I thought that was so fun and such a interesting new item to add to the list. So I will be making this again, and I'm so glad that she brought it over to the celebration.